people are crazy. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be talking about Whoopi Goldberg and her being suspended from The View for 2 weeks over her comments on the Hostcolo. I'd also like to remind you, please go over to my Rumble channel. There are more videos over there, and they are real videos about real topics. I don't really enjoy covering stuff like this because, honestly, at the end of the day, who gives a crap about Whoopi Goldberg and what she thinks and what she knows and what she says? I don't, but I need to put something up. I'm trying to still use YouTube as a platform to get people to go over to Rumble. So I'm looking for things that, I don't know, maybe they won't take down, but all the stuff that would be removed, all the good stuff, the juicy, exciting stuff, the stuff that you need to know about is over there. Please go to Rumble, go to Rumble. All right. So without any further ado, here we go. This NBC article here, the author talks about how when he was a kid, he thought that Jews were the same as regular white folks, and then he got older and he changed his mind. Goldberg ignited an inferno when she commented that the Hostcolo was about man's inhumanity to man and not about race. Monday morning on ABC's The View, when her co-host questioned her opinion, she went on to say, "This is white people doing it to white people, so y'all going to fight amongst yourselves." The backlash was angry and immediate, with Jewish groups and Twitter users calling out her uninformed comments as an example of increasing ignorance about the Hostcolo. This is a direct result of the shoddy and incomplete way history is taught in American schools and our obsession with racial categorization. The Yazis were clear in their genocidal campaign to exterminate the Jews because they believe them to be an inferior race. That hateful belief continues to fuel supremacist ideology. The result is a growing number of anti-Semitic attacks. Goldberg issued an apology on Twitter hours after her comments, and in an appearance Monday evening on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, she apologized again, noting that as a Black person, she thinks of racism as being based on skin color. That's a common view in America, where we're often categorized by skin color. So when she went on Colbert, she really didn't apologize. She basically just kind of doubled down. It's so funny to me that people think that this backlash is going to change her opinion. It's not. You can threaten somebody's job and force them to apologize, but that's not how you win hearts and minds. That's how you create slaves that are obedient to the state. Then in a live conversation on The View on Tuesday that included Jonathan Greenblatt, CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, she said, "It is indeed about race because Hitler and the Yazis considered Jews to be an inferior race. Now, words matter and mine are no exception. I regret my comments. As I said, I stand corrected. I also stand with the Jewish people, as they know, and y'all know because I've always done that." Despite her apologies, ABC suspended Goldberg from the show for 2 weeks. I think this whole thing is stupid. I don't know why people care about what she says. Yep. And now Whoopi Goldberg is livid and she is threatening to quit. And I would say I hope she does quit, but they'd probably just replace her with somebody even more obnoxious. Reporting on a story like this is a little difficult for me because I'm all about freedom and free speech, and you are free to say whatever you want. I don't care. However, now we're looking at the cancel culture situation. And we have this poll here. Do you think ABC was right to suspend Whoopi Goldberg? It says you have a strong view. Yes, because I clicked yes, definitely. Not because I don't believe in free speech. Of course I do. And I even hate cancel culture. However, I don't think that these leftist goons are going to stop until they get a taste of their own medicine. I may even write an email to ABC demanding that she be fired. Well, these people need to be taught a lesson. They have created and fostered this environment where they cheer and celebrate tearing people down who say things that they don't agree with. Whoopi's made her own deathbed and she can rest in peace in it. She's a big part of this. Everybody who doesn't agree with me is racist and terrible and hateful. So there you go. Now you've said something that people don't agree with. Now you get to be the awful, hateful person that should be removed from society. Isn't it great? Isn't it great? The chickens have come home to roost. I'm just going to help them a little bit by probably sending an email. Yeah, cancel culture has been turned into a weapon, and I would be remiss if I didn't use it against my enemy when I have the chance. If you beat me with a stick while I'm a child, eventually one day I'm going to get tired of that, and I'm going to get bigger, and I'm going to take that stick and I'm going to beat you right back with it. Now I'm a loving and peaceful person. I'm all about nonviolence. However, I'm not going to allow you to just beat me with a stick and then I don't do anything back. Okay. And then turning the other cheek, that's for somebody else, not this girl. But I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want to do this. I don't believe in it, but you've left me no choice. Definitely suspend her. Actually, I don't think they've gone far enough. I think she needs to be fired. I think she needs to be fired to help send the message to these people out here, especially these Hollywood nut jobs, that cancel culture is coming for you too. Now, folks on the right, I think a lot of us, we are just making ourselves uncancelable because we don't really care about this nonsense. Yeah, you can take me off of YouTube. You know, you can throw me off Facebook, whatever. That's why I say go to Rumble, please. Check out my Rumble channel over there. You know, we're doing this whole parallel economy. We'll just let the left eat their own. I think this is hysterical in some ways. The funniest part about this is that Whoopi Goldberg is actually correct. When you use the left's own an ever-changing definition of racism, then Whoopi's right. For one, it can't be hateful, remember? Because she's black, and black people can't be racist. Black people can do no wrong. What is everybody mad about? And now we're here this article from Mediaite. ADL again updates its definition of racism after condemning, then forgiving Whoopi Goldberg. What's funny about this is that she's actually promoting critical race theory stuff. So I can't believe that the people who put all this stuff up and said, oh, you know, black people can't be racist, and they've changed the definitions of everything. Now they're like, oh, well, wait, you actually listened to and believed what we said? Well, now we're condemning you for it. The Anti-Defamation League has once again changed its definition of racism over a backlash for how it had defined the concept amid the controversy over Whoopi Goldberg's comments about the Haas-Kalo. ADL chief Jonathan Greenblatt initially condemned Goldberg before accepting her apology and appearing on The View for a thoughtful discussion of why she was wrong. But the exposure of the ADL drew attention to how the organization defines racism on its website. A few years ago, its definition was a commonly accepted one. It defined racism as follows: the belief that a particular race is superior or inferior to another, that a person's social and moral traits are predetermined by his or her inborn biological characteristics. Racial separatism is the belief, most of the time based on racism, that different races should be segregated and apart from another. I'm okay with this definition. Got no problem with that. But then in July 2020, the ADL updated its definition to make it oddly narrow. Was the marginalization and or oppression of people of color based on a socially constructed racial hierarchy that privileges white people. Such a definition, as critics and we here at Mediaite noted, excluded millions of victims of the Haas-Kalo, the very sin that the ADL had accused Goldberg of committing. Whoopsie. The ADL did not respond to Mediaite's request for comment on Tuesday, but by Wednesday, they had again changed their definition of racism to an interim one. Folks, why you would even need an interim definition? You know, we really have to stop letting these nutty people control language. So there are a lot of ridiculous terms, things starting with cis or whatever. Like, nah, I'm not playing that game. I'm not using these new made up found, like these words that people came up with 20 minutes ago. I'm a woman. There's no prefix that needs to go in front of woman because I'm a woman and I know what a man is. And I'm not putting a prefix in front of the term man. It's not happening. You will not force me to use words and terms that I do not want to use. I do not accept these terms. I reject them. It's not happening. And I don't think that we're going far enough. I think if somebody puts a prefix in front of the term woman and calls me something like that, I think that if somebody tries to do that to you, you should call them out and you should tell them that that's offensive and that they're being hateful and they're using ugly terms that people don't like. And I'm going to take it a step even further and say, if you call me or any other black people anything other than a man or a woman, you're racist. And you're racist because a lot of black people had to die in order to be called man or woman instead of boy or the N-word. We were subhuman. We were monkeys. Being called something just as basic as a man or a woman was a huge step forward for civil rights. And now the same party that's responsible for taking that away from us in the first place is trying to take it away again, and I won't stand for it. Do you guys remember Mr. T from the 80s? He was on the A-Team. I think he was Clubber Lang in the Rocky films. Well, here's a quote from him. I think about my father being called boy, my uncle being called boy, my brother coming back from Vietnam and being called boy. So I question myself, what does a black man have to do before he's given respect as a man? So when I was 18 years old, when I was old enough to fight and die for my country, old enough to drink, old enough to vote, I said I was old enough to be called a man. I self-ordained myself Mr. T, so the first word out of everybody's mouth is Mr. Just let that sit with you for a moment. I'll tell you what, folks, I'll be danged. I will be danged if I let some liberal arts student take that away. No, you will not be taking the hard-fought dignity away from my people. So yes, you are a racist. You are a big, fat, ugly racist if you try to use those terms against the people of color that you supposedly love and respect so much. I will not allow you to take away my dignity. This is just an extension of what they're doing with the Latino and Latina population by trying to call them Latinx when nobody likes that. The number is close to, I think, only 3% of the Hispanic population is okay with that term, and these loony liberals keep pushing it. So I used to be bow-legged, but I had it surgically corrected. I didn't have to come up with a whole new term for people who had straight legs versus my bow legs. I didn't have to say, oh, well, I'm bow-legged, but you are pie-legged. How about that? You're a pie-legged individual. No, no, everybody else is normal, and I have a mutation. You don't have to rename the normal, just like I have Graves' disease. I have an overactive thyroid. I don't call you show thyroided. Okay, we don't do this. Or how about, yes, most people have 10 fingers. That's called normal. I don't have to come up with a term like, cree-fingered. Yes, you are cree-fingered because I only have 9 fingers. I actually have 10 fingers, but you know what I'm saying. Imagine doing this with every illness and ailment. You would make the language so unnecessarily convoluted that it would become almost impossible for a non-native speaker to learn. And a lot of native speakers would probably have an issue with it as well. No, this is dumb. Normal is normal. Men are men, women are women, period. We don't need extra terms to define our normal factory default setting. Thank you. Now, of course, being the free speech advocate that I am, if you want to use these terms, have at it. It's a free country. Do what you want. But I'm not participating in the nonsense with you, so don't even bother asking, because the answer will be no all day, every day. In order for language to function properly, we need societal agreement. With these weird new terms and things that people want to be called, there's no consensus. Most people think it's stupid, but they're too afraid to speak up because they are afraid of cancel culture and being called names or being fired. A, if I cared about cancel culture or being called names, I wouldn't have started a YouTube channel in the first place. B, they're firing me anyway. What do you mean? Because I'm probably getting fired anyway because I'm refusing to take forced medication, and my job, even though I don't consider myself to be a healthcare worker, my job, because I think of healthcare workers as doctors and nurses. I'm technically in the mental health field, but the job is funded through, I think it's Medicaid. So there's that. So we're dealing with a situation where folks on the extreme left, and I need to be better about that and stop saying that, oh, it's leftist in general. It's not. It's more extreme fringe folks. I have plenty of friends who are liberal, who are normal, sane, rational people. We're watching in live time the fringe leftists who are in bed with the deep state, constantly changing definitions of words. Like they changed the definition recently of what it means to be jabbed. And now they're changing. It's straight out of the book 1984. It's a very, very obvious control method. And what I'm saying is don't let them have control. And Whoopi Goldberg is so angry that she's threatening to quit because she was towing the party line. She was a good little slave. She was doing and saying exactly what they told her to, and they threw her completely under the bus because she believed what they told them. If you have white skin, like a lot of Jewish folks do, then you can't be a victim of racism. They love changing their definitions, but they realized that they messed up and they made a big mistake, and they let Whoopi take the fall for it. Whoopi Goldberg bought everything hook, line, and sinker, and they realized, uh-oh, we made a mistake, and they threw her, they threw her right under the bus, and then they backed up, and went forward, and they backed up again, and drove over her again, they backed up, and drove over, and then just kept going. Next stop, Joe Rogan. Well, and my ADD has me totally off on a tangent, so let me get back to my super boring Whoopi Goldberg story. Now the ADL definition reads, racism occurs when individuals or institutions show more favorable evaluation or treatment of an individual or group based on race or ethnicity. Oh my goodness. Isn't that wonderful? There's no need for interim here. The ADL's new definition is entirely satisfactory. Until the next time they need to come and play Captain Saves a Hoe. They're going to change it again. Well, we didn't think about this. Here's our new favorite celebrity pet or politician that we have to come in and save. Nonetheless, the ADL's definition of systemic racism remains on the website and remains flawed by its narrow scope. Yeah, that's too much to read, and I don't care. By definition, white people are not the only group capable of systemic racism. Anyone, regardless of their skin color, can institute a racism system. The ADL, which was founded to combat anti-Semitism, upheld its mission in the Goldberg saga. Unfortunately, it has undermined the same mission in its own messaging on racism. Hey, everybody. Yes, this was a stupid and pointless video about a stupid and pointless person with stupid and pointless views. But I'm just uploading this dumb video so that I can tell you to please go over to Rumble. Go to Rumble. Leave YouTube. Go over to Rumble. Check out my real video about real information. Going to be showing you, actually I got a couple of videos over there right now that are not over here. But you can go listen to information from the doctors that have been on Joe Rogan that, you know, they're trying to get Joe Rogan banned for. That's really, really good information. Please, please, please go over to Rumble, check that all out, and I will see you over there. Hopefully. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and please share it. You can help us continue to fight in the war against disinformation by donating at paypal.me/right-left-of-center. I'm River Wright from Right Left of Center, and if you're watching, you're probably right too.